We are back. Welcome.
Episode 9.
Episode 9. Almost 10.
One more.
Almost 10.
Small while getting there.
Yeah. As you can see, I'm in a different location. The U.S. is at war, so I'm officially hiding.
Oh my goodness.
So,
No.
I'm in a disclosed location. When they start picking people for war, I don't want to be picked off.
Nah, that's so real. They said they're about to start doing draft. I'm gonna be calling people up.
Yeah.
Not gonna find me though.
MIA. Not gonna find me. I actually meant to ask you something in our last episode. How does it feel to be a different man now?
Explain.
Well, you're engaged now, so life is different.
I mean, I like to say that we already loved each other, so the love is still there. But I mean, I think it's more maturity that comes with it. It
Mhm.
takes a man to make that step, and I guess I'm a man now,
Let
you
them
know?
know. Big man team. You
You
don't
get
know.
you get. So yeah, but nah. So yeah, last Dami said I did get engaged to my fiance a couple weeks back. So made some big man moves there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So we're both engaged family men on common sense.
That's the reason why we can give you these kind of advices, because we have lived life, we've had some type of experience on getting to this stage of our lives. We're
A
not
lot of
just
mistakes. A lot of money wasted, a lot of money blown, a lot of mistakes. But you live and you learn.
one day I'll come on here and talk about how much I spent on the engagement. That's coming soon.
Oof. Yeah. I'm gonna keep shut on that episode. I'll take notes. Because that was honestly, maybe you should get your significant other to come talk about that, so people can understand how you really did your thing. You did your
How I
big
did
one.
it. Low-key, I've been thinking about it. Who knows? Maybe I'll put something out there. We'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for that, good brother. I think it's time we get into the episode today. So, welcome to episode 9 of Common Sense Pod, where we are documenting our journey as two first-generation Nigerian-American millennials, trying to figure it out financially, and hopefully we can all learn a thing or two as we embark on this journey. I'm your host, Umar, and today with me, I have my boy, Dami. Today, we'll be talking about financial vehicles to build wealth. So if you've been following our previous episodes, we've been talking about ways we can make money, how we can save money, systems that we should implement into our day-to-day lives that can help us build money. But now we really want to get into the details of these financial vehicles that can help us build that long-term wealth. So things like your 401k, your IRA account, stuff of that nature. Just to preface this episode, like we say in all episodes, we're not financial advisors. The things that we talk about are based on our own opinions, experiences, and research that we've done on our own time. And so we're going to keep it simple, talk about the things that we know, and going to have a good episode. So starting off, Dami, what would you say a financial vehicle is, and give us some of the financial vehicles that you have in mind?
Yeah. So a financial vehicle for building wealth for me, I'm trying to keep it simple or use like an analogy to make it easy to understand. A financial vehicle. A vehicle is what you use to take get to a destination. So a financial vehicle for building wealth is a vehicle that's going to allow me to reach wealth. So in this case, the financial vehicle is where you're placing your money. If it could be like an account or whatever you're using to get there. And then in order for a vehicle to run, it needs fuel. Your money is the fuel for the financial vehicle. And how does fuel get processed for the vehicle to actually move? Through the engine. And the engine is the actual investment. So a financial vehicle in this sense or this conversation, I'm thinking of how I'm putting my money into an investment, and that investment is pushing the vehicle to get to where it needs to be, which is wealth.
Now, that was a good analogy. I like that vehicle analogy. So pretty much what you're saying is that for a financial vehicle, you have to have the fuel, which is your money, and then the engine is whatever you're investing in that's going to take you from point A to point B. And I agree with that. Like pretty much what we intend to talk about with this financial vehicle is that what can we put our money in that's going to take it from where it is today and get to the destination, which is long-term wealth, which is more money, which is long-term stability. So that was definitely a good analogy. So what would you say are some financial vehicles that people should look into or should definitely consider having?
So, I mean, in the world we live in today, there's a lot of different things you can use where you can put your money for it to grow. Just off the top, 401k is one, a brokerage account, real estate. There's a lot of them.
Yeah. But some other ones, yeah, like you said, you have the 401k, you have your IRA. One that people don't really talk about is the HSA account. That's a good one also.
Hmm.
High yield savings account, or even like a
Facts.
529 education plan. Like if you want to like create an account for your kids' education, like those are all things that are financial vehicles that make it a lot easier to build wealth.
Facts. I think the biggest thing is you want your vehicle to be able to do a few things. It should store your money, it should protect
Mhm.
your money, it should grow your money, and there should be some type of advantage, usually tax related. So, moving on from that, tell us a little bit why these matter. What is the importance of having these financial vehicles? Why should you take advantage of them?
I mean, if you're listening to episode 9, it means that you're a dedicated listener and we appreciate you. Or if you're a first time listener, pretty much what we preach on our platform is that we're trying to build wealth long term. We know that we're not necessarily where we want to be today, but the goal is that later on in life, based on the decisions that we're making now, we're going to get there. And so by choosing one of these financial vehicles, that's really what you're doing. You're trying to build long term wealth. And that's why these are really important, because it's going to take you from where you are today and hopefully get you that to that destination of building wealth over a longer period of time. Another thing is that there are certain advantages that come with investing into these financial vehicles. So one of the things, for example, is your 401k. For a lot of 401k accounts, you have this great benefit where your employer matches a certain percentage of how much you're putting into your 401k. So that's pretty much free money right there. So if
Yeah.
you're putting in a certain percentage and they're matching that, you're automatically getting 100% return on your investment. Where else are you getting that right away? So if you're not investing in your 401k, you're pretty much leaving free money in your account. You're losing some of these benefits that come with having such vehicles available to you. So that's one of the reasons why these matter.
I would go one step further. If you're not taking advantage of your company's match, you're basically throwing away part of your salary.
I mean, yeah,
It's
because
money that your job is paying you. If
yeah.
your job you want to make all the money your job can pay you. Your job is basically paying you that money.
No, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Some people take jobs specifically for the benefits, and when you're looking for a job, I don't know about everybody, but for me, whether a company matches is something important on whether I'm going to take a job offer or not. Unless the compensation package is just so crazy, I want you to match me on my 401k to some degree.
That's facts. A lot of people look at those compensation packages, see what the 401k is. That's honestly like what you use to make decision. Let's say you have two jobs that you're considering.
Mhm.
If the compensation is the same, you're like, let me see what that 401k is about. Like if you're only
Exactly.
matching 2% and the other company is matching 5%, like I'm going I'm
It goes a
going with
long
the
way.
one that I can get a lot better benefit from. So yeah, it's definitely a negotiation tool as well, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure, for sure. Another reason why these matter is like I kind of touched on it earlier. It's like the tax advantages. So these accounts, they offer various tax advantages. So one thing you'll notice, and I mean, we talk about different ways of wealth and financial literacy, but one thing you'll notice as you become more financially literate in America, in the United States, you are incentivized to put money into the economy. You are incentivized to like build and to grow wealth, but people don't have the knowledge for it. So like for 401k, your job matches you. Well, not all jobs, but there's a possibility that your job matches the money
Hmm.
you're contributing into it to a certain percentage. For an IRA account, depending on which one you're doing, you can grow your money tax free. In the 401k and a traditional IRA, contributing to those reduces your taxable income. HSAs, if you put money into an account and you don't use it for the emergencies in the future, you can take that money and put it towards different things. If you sell a home, you don't have to pay taxes on it if you use it to buy another home. So like the US really incentivizes people to grow businesses, to invest, and to keep their money working because our country works off of people's money working. So growing in your financial literacy, and you'll learn these things. You'll see it's a very common thing. The people who suffer from it are the people who don't have the knowledge and aren't able to take advantage of these things.
Yeah, that's a good point because a lot of these financial vehicles, the government incentivizes us to use them because there are tax benefits from it. Like you said, if you sell a property and you reinvest into another property, you don't have to pay like taxes on that. When it comes to your 401k account, if you're contributing, you pay taxes on that, and so because you're paying taxes on that, it reduces your taxable income, and so that benefits you as well. So a lot of these vehicles have tax incentives, and that's why they matter, because once you know this, you know which of these strategies you want to add to your financial system, which of these can benefit you in the long run, where you can make money from it, or get the benefits that comes with that financial vehicle. But yeah, so thank you for that, Dami. So moving forward, now I want us to deep dive into these financial vehicles. We have people listening, they don't really have much information of like what financial vehicle they should look into. Break one of these down for someone who has no idea of it to better understand what it is.
One of the ones that I think people don't talk about as much or people may not have as much knowledge on are IRA accounts. So we have traditional IRAs and we have Roth IRAs. And simply the difference between the two is that in the Roth IRA, you're contributing money that is in your account, money from your checkings account that has already been taxed. You're putting it into an investment account. Whereas with the traditional IRA, you're putting pre-tax money into it. So it's from your paycheck before they take their cut of it. And
Mm,
because of that, in the traditional IRA account, whenever you retire, you're going to pay taxes on it. Whereas with the Roth IRA, you already paid taxes on it. So if that money grows till infinity, you don't have to pay taxes on it. I mean, you're going to pay capital gains, which depends on how much money you make, but you're not going to pay taxes on it based on the money already being taxed. So
yeah.
IRAs are really sleepers for building wealth. People focus on the 401ks and those are great, but IRAs in addition to a 401k give you a lot of flexibility. I don't have a traditional IRA, but I do have a Roth IRA. And one of the things I really like about the Roth IRA is the flexibility in what I can invest in. Um, so I mean, we both have 401ks and like with a 401k, you're somewhat limited to what you can invest in. But with the Roth IRA, you can invest in almost everything. You can invest in most things. You just can't invest directly into crypto. Like you cannot, as of now, you can't buy Bitcoin and Ethereum, but you can buy IBIT. And that's what I do. I just buy IBIT,
Gotcha.
which is the Bitcoin ETF. But I do like the flexibility in it. If you want to trade options in it, you can. To be honest, I've been thinking about it lately. I'm about to start buying leaps in my IRA account because
This guy.
it's about that time. I mean, look at the market right now. If I buy some leaps in my IRA, that thing's gonna go to infinity. But conversation for another time.
Nah, for sure, for sure. All right, so I did have a question for you. So, what was your reasoning behind opening up a Roth IRA instead of the traditional IRA account?
It was really just the flexibility for me. Uh,
Mhm.
I wanted to be able to one invest in whatever I wanted to, but also the contributing to it, like with the like with your 401k is pre-tax dollars. So the money that's being taken out every month is whatever you do. But with my Roth, I don't have a specific amount I contribute. I just contribute what I have to it.
Gotcha, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so that flexibility that allows you to put however
Yeah,
much you want to at a particular point in time. And then with the
exactly.
Roth, there's also like post-tax, and then that allows you whenever you withdraw that at any point in time, whenever you retire, it's tax-free, right?
Yeah, yeah. But there is one caveat to IRA accounts. There is a income limit to it. I don't know the exact number, but I want to say it's like high 100Ks. Maybe like on the
Mm.
other side of 150 or something like somewhere around there. But there's a way you can work around it. Nothing illegal, but there's a way to work around that income limit. As of now, I want to say the contribution limit for both IRA accounts is like 7,500 for
Yeah.
2026. And if you're over the age of 50, you can pay an additional $1,000 for what they call the catch up.
No, that was good. That's good details. Like there's some things I didn't know in there, like that whole like there's a cap of how much to have a RA account. So
Well, no, it's how much you make that
you make,
if you
yeah,
or if you make over that, you can't contribute to an IRA.
gotcha,
But there's
gotcha.
people who are millionaires who do it. There's just
You
so
still
you
do
have
it.
to, yeah. If you know, you know.
You have to work the system.
Thank you, because I wasn't gonna say that like that. You have to work the system. That's exactly what it
You have
is.
to work the system. But
You have
nah,
to
that
work
was
the
good.
system.
That was good details on that. I appreciate that.
I
All
think they
right.
call it a backdoor IRA, just in case anybody wants to look it up.
Gotcha. Thank you for that, Dami. Appreciate that, the knowledge on the IRA accounts. So moving forward, I'm going to be talking about the 401k account. So this would be one that most people should be familiar with, especially if you have a 9 to 4 account. So pretty much what it is an employee, employer sponsored retirement account where you're contributing automatically from your paycheck. So it could be you're contributing weekly, biweekly, monthly, however you're getting paid, and it's up to you to determine what percentage you want to contribute to your 401k. So you can contribute 0% or you can contribute as much as the yearly limit, which is allowed. So so for 2026, the yearly limit that you can contribute to your 401k is 24,500. So if you can contribute that, that's cool. But a lot of another thing with 401k is that a lot of companies have a matching program, a matching benefit. So whatever you put into your 401k account, they match that dollar for dollar. So, to share some information with you. So personally for my 401k account, I know my company matches 4%. So if I'm putting 4% of my paycheck into my 401k account, they're going to be matched that dollar for dollar. And so that's automatically getting that 100% return on your money before investing in any other asset that you would have in your 401k account. So that's really the main reasons why you want to take advantage of this. And so similar to the IRA account, you can have a pre-tax 401k account, which is your money goes into your 401k account without being taxed, and then you end up being taxed later on in the future when you do withdraw the money in retirement. Or you can do a Roth 401k option where you're taxed now and that money grows tax free, so you don't have to worry about being taxed later on in the future. And so these are some of the things that you want to take into consideration when trying to decide which of these options you want to invest in for your 401k. The only thing I would say with the 401k that's kind of different, like that you mentioned from the Roth IRA, is that it's not as flexible. So typically for your 401k, it has what you can invest in are mainly like ETFs, mutual funds, or target date funds. So if you wanted to invest in a particular company like Nvidia, Microsoft, you can't really do that with your 401k. You have to find whatever ETFs that your 401k program supports that includes Nvidia, that includes Microsoft, all of those stocks that you can invest in. So I would say that's the only caveat when it comes to your 401k. You don't have that flexibility. But honestly, I like it because it also makes sure you're investing in safer assets if you're putting that money into investing for the long term.
That was good. One thing, this can be confusing, so please make sure you do your own research. These things apply for different people in different situations. Even Umar and I, who we talk about this stuff all the time, we both have different accounts. We both use these accounts differently because we're in different situations. So make sure you do your own research and you apply whatever information you find according to your own situation.
Yep, yep.
So another account I'm going to get into is the brokerage account. So Umar and I talk about this all the time as far as like our own individual investing. Your own individual investing is going to be through a brokerage account. Most people use Robinhood, but we've talked about the different ones. There's a lot of different ones. And the difference between your brokerage account and the previously mentioned accounts is the flexibility in usage. With those accounts that we mentioned, sorry, the 401k, the IRA, your money is expected to be there until I believe the age is 59 and a half. If you take the money out early, you'll be penalized. And
Yep.
it's somewhere between 10 and 20% or something like that.
Yeah, between 10 and 20. Yep.
So 10 to 20% of that money you'll be hit for that, and you'll be hit for the taxes. So you might lose maybe 30 to 40% of that money just because you want to take it out early.
Yeah.
But in the case of a brokerage account, if technically you can take the money out whenever you want to. You shouldn't, because you want to leave the money for it to grow. But who knows? You might have reached a point where you want to take that money and put it into a business or buy a home or buy a vehicle. So you can take that money out. You'll just have to pay capital gains. And capital gains for long-term investments over a year is between 0 and 20%. Whereas for short-term investments under a year, capital gains is between 0 and like 35%. So do with that information whatever you need to. But like I mentioned, the brokerage account is a lot more flexible. It provides you a little bit of liquidity. Ideally, you have a savings account and you have retirement accounts. So your brokerage account could be that in-between money. And for something like maybe you don't want to use your savings because this thing would deplete your savings, but you also don't want to dig deep into your big retirement accounts. So you take it out of your brokerage account. So
Mhm.
it's definitely a situational thing. As far as like tax benefits, it doesn't have those type of tax benefits, but I mentioned how you would be taxed for short-term capital gains and long-term capital gains. There's also the annual loss. So in a brokerage account, you can file capital losses up to $3,000 annually for a brokerage account. So if for 2026 your account is negative 3,000, you can claim that money when you file taxes, and the IRS will give it back to you. If you lose more than $3,000, then the rest of that money rolls over. So I always tell people you have $3,000 free to invest every year, because if you lose it, they'll give it back to you.
They'll give it back to you. Yeah.
They'll give it back to you.
That's a good one to know for sure. That's a good one to know.
Yeah, that's where you build accessible wealth.
All right. Quick question. How many brokerage accounts do you have?
Good question. I have 3 brokerage accounts just
3.
because I like to put my money in different places. So I trade in one account, I have my buy and hold in one account, and I recently did this is I made a separate account for crypto. My crypto was with my buy and hold previously, but I realized I didn't like for that drawdown. I didn't like how it was messing up my numbers. So I
The
got my
man
crypto separate
said
now.
have different accounts for different assets.
Hey man,
Uh,
that's what the goal is. How many brokerage accounts do you have?
I have 2. So the way that I look at it is, so I have one that I use for my trading, specifically just for trading by maybe short term buy and hold or options, stuff like that. And then I
Mhm.
have a long term investing brokerage account. So that's one is buy and hold for the long term.
And you have the retirement accounts.
In the retirement, yeah, in the retirement accounts. But yeah, so I mean, like we're not just talking like just to talk. Like we're actually like learning from like we've done this and we're learning from the things that we've like mistakes that we've made or things that we know that we should implement into our strategy, and then we're sharing that to people. So have some confidence in us. Have some confidence in us.
We're out here giving people the playbook. Like if you started from episode 1, all right, let's say you just started your financial literacy. If you started episode 1 when we dropped our first episode to now, you should be working on your way to having a savings. You should have some type of budget. You should have some type of financial system that's working for you. You should understand your credit cards a little bit better. If you have big purchases, you're working towards them, and you understand investing a little bit, maybe not in depth, but you have a slight idea about it. So we're really giving people the playbook, and we're putting out all the things to be aware of in advance. So
Yeah.
major game here.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's Common Sense Pod.
That
But
being said, if you haven't already, like this video. If you're not following us, follow us. Make sure you follow us on all our socials. Common Sense Pod, I believe, is what is on most of them. So Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Comment. Let us know. Let us feel the love. Sometimes we be feeling lonely because nobody says nothing.
that's Dami. I'm good. I'm good over here.
I need it. I need the attention. Yes. like and
He
comment. So
needs
I
the
can feel
validation. He needs the
I need the
validation.
yeah, I need the validation. Facts. I do.
All right. But all right, so another financial vehicle that I wanted to touch on that I feel like it's kind of slept on. Really, people don't talk much about this. Honestly, I have to do my own research on this because I haven't like been using this account as
Mhm.
much. Is the HSA account, so your health savings account. So pretty much what this is that it can be used to pay for qualified medical expenses, such as your co-pays, your prescriptions, your dental care, your contacts, stuff like that that you have to pay whenever you have any type of medical expenses. So this is an account that you can use to pay for that. But one of the major benefits that comes with the account is it's that triple tax advantage. So one of the tax advantages that um, the contributions that are made to this account is pre-tax, and so because it's pre-tax, that reduces your taxable income, and so it reduces how much you'll be taxed for that year, and then it also goes into the account tax free, so you don't have to worry about that tax. Another thing is that while in the HSA account, it's also growing tax free. This is one that I didn't really know until I researched this, is that you can actually invest the money that's in your HSA account. You can invest it in index funds, you can invest it in stocks, whatever asset that is available in your plan, you can invest in that. And so any return that you make or any interest that you make on what you're invested, those are tax free also. So in your regular brokerage account or your IRA account that we've talked about, whenever you sell it, you have to pay some type of tax. But within your HSA account, as long as it's growing within that account, you don't have any to pay any taxes with that. So that's another advantage that this has. And then the last tax advantage is that whenever you do use it for qualified medical expenses, so the keyword there is qualified, it has to be you have to be using it on the right things. You're not going to pay tax on that withdrawal. So that's another tax incentive for you to use this HSA account. So this is one that if you're someone that's has medical emergencies coming up, if you have a family that you have to take care of, and when it comes to your medical emergencies or anything like that, this is definitely one that you want to look into because of the multiple tax advantages that comes with it. The only thing is that the contribution limit for 2026 is 4,400. So I know this changes maybe a couple $100 here and there, but for 2026 it's 4,400. So you can't obviously put as much as you can like compared to a 401k account, but 4,400 when it comes to medical expenses, that can go a long way in taking care of the things
Mhm.
that you need to, for sure.
Real quick, as you were saying this, I was kind of thinking a little bit. So like we just ran through the 401k, we ran through the IRAs and the HSAs and kind of like their tax advantages. Um, Let me give our listeners some game real quick. So if you take advantage of your 401k, you max it out. Let's say someone makes 100k. If you take advantage of your 401k, you max it out 24,000. Then you take advantage of IRA account, traditional IRA. You max it out 7,500, I think was the number
500.
I said.
Yeah.
Uh, that's 3,200. I mean, that's 32K. Then you add this additional 4,000 from the HSA. That's 36,000. If you make 100K, you've just removed 36,000 from your taxable
The
income. So
taxable income.
granted, are you going to be feeling the effect of your full 100K? And no, but when time for taxes comes around, you're going to be taxed as if you made 66K. So they're going to get taxed in, first of all, you're going to get taxed in a lesser
Tax
tax
bracket.
bracket.
Yeah.
And that money, it's not as if you didn't make the money. The money is in different vehicles accumulating and growing for you without being taxed at the moment. So yeah, you're not going to be able to have all your money in your pocket like you might want to, but your money is out there growing for you, for it to be available for you to use when you retire. So it can really get you far in life by maybe you don't max them. Maxing them out is the
But
ideal
putting a
situation.
putting a good amount of money in those vehicles for
Taking
sure.
taking advantage of all of those can really set you far in life and get you ahead for retirement if you start early.
For sure, for sure. No, that's a real game right there. Like you said, like these are all vehicles that one, they have tax advantages to it, and then they're also letting you grow your money over time without like you even thinking about it. It's like it's just in the back end and it's working. So yeah, it's definitely some of the things that people should look into.
Hmm.
I think So yeah, so one of the other ones that I wanted to touch on that's a good financial vehicle. This is one of the oldest financial vehicles in the game is real estate. So this is pretty much owning any type of physical property that you can either generate income from or you make money from it appreciating in value. So this could be anything from a primary residence, that's something that you live in. It can be a commercial property, so something that you're renting out for businesses or any type of commercial purposes, or just like short-term rentals like Airbnbs or like long-term rentals depending on how you have it set up. So like if you have a duplex, you can rent one side out. If you have a single home, you can rent it out. And so these are all types of financial vehicles that people have that can be used to generate long-term wealth as well. So this is one that people really like because it's an asset that you can live in as well as make money from. And so there's not a lot of assets out there that you can do that. So that's another reason why people love real estate. The only thing I'll say is that because it's such a permanent and high capital purchase, you want to make sure that you have your finances in order. This is not a purchase that you can make just by vibes. Like we've talked about that in our big purchase episode. You have to make sure you know what you know how much you can afford for your down payment. You take into considerations like other fees that might come about when it comes to real estate. So you have your property tax, you have the maintenance cost of the property. You have to make sure your debt to income ratio is where it needs to be for you to make sure you can afford a house, a property. So these are all things that you want to make sure you're not just playing games with. You have real numbers and you're seeing that the numbers are working for you to actually get a property. But if you've done all of this and you see that it works, real estate is definitely one of those financial vehicles that can help you build long-term wealth, or just generate income for you. So that's one that I encourage people to look into.
For
Anything you
sure.
want to add there?
No, like you said, real estate is capital intensive, but it's like it has its benefits just like all the other vehicles. So it's really just a choice of what you want to do, what makes sense for your situation. But real estate, just like the other ones, you kind of just you can almost just park the money there. You can increase the value of an asset by like adding to it, doing construction, different
Yeah.
various other things. But it's really just like the same thing. You just play the waiting game. You buy a home, do what you're gonna do with it, and just hold it for 10, 20 years.
Yep, yep. So, like I said, it's one of those assets that those financial vehicles that people have used for a long period of time to make money.
Mhm.
All
Yeah.
right. So moving on. So now, like, okay, we've introduced these financial vehicles to our listeners. So for someone that, let's say, they don't have any of these set up, any of these financial vehicles set up, what would you say? I guess I wouldn't say the right order because right is kind of subjective to different people, but what would you say is like the typical order that you want to have this set up that can help you build that long-term wealth?
Yeah, like you said, there's no real right way. There is a wrong way, I guess, because you can do things wrong, but there's no real right way to go about it.
Yeah.
Um, I would think about like the safest way, I guess. When I say safe as according to like the system for which they're built. If you
Hmm.
look at all the things that we kind of mentioned earlier, the ones that have lower contribution limits is because are very beneficial, but they're also there's like a probably like a little bit more, I don't want to say risk, but risk is not the word I'm looking for. It's not as
Is
secure
it?
or
No, I think because it has better benefits, you can't contribute as much.
as
You know.
much. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to say.
Uh,
So where I would start from is the 401k that has the largest contribution limit because you can build the furthest with it in a shorter amount of time. That's kind of what I was trying to allude to in my previous
yeah,
statement. But in the 401k,
I got you.
that's definitely where you would start because you have your employer that's matching you and throwing money into it. And we kind of talked about it earlier. You should take advantage of that. But if you're not taking advantage of it, you're basically leaving part of your salary on the table. So definitely we'll start with the 401k just because there's a large contribution limit there. You can go very far with it. It's relatively safe for the most part as long as you put your money into a good investment or into a good engine, according to our analogy earlier.
Yeah.
So then once I've started contributing to my 401k, the next thing I'm looking for is an IRA account. So in my case, it's a Roth IRA, but it can be a traditional IRA for other people in different situations. You get your IRA going, get it moving and grooving, then you move on to the next one, which would be a HSA in this situation. So now you've built two accounts that you can use towards building your retirement fund. And now this HSA is what you're going to use to help you in case you have medical emergencies and you're not as liquid. You don't have to touch that money in those accounts. So with the HSA, I personally don't have an HSA. Um, but that's just because you're required to have a high deductible health insurance plan to have an HSA, and I don't have that right now. But I think HSAs are very like important for people with families, married individuals, or people with kids, because if
You don't have
everybody
no
gets sick,
kids yet?
not that I know of, but if everybody gets sick in 1 month, who knows how much that bill could be. So that's where
Yeah,
the
facts.
HSA comes in handy for us. Us individuals, maybe we might not be thinking about it like that. So then after the HSA, after you got those three accounts, I would probably say it depends on your situation. Like if you're familiar with investing, I would definitely go the brokerage account route. But if you're not really familiar with investing, or if you don't want to do it yourself, I would say go back around and try to max out those accounts in the same order that you started contributing. So try to max out your 401k, then try to max out your Roth IRA so that they can accumulate money at a faster rate because there's more money into them. And then if you still have some more money, or maybe you still have some more flexibility, look into alternative investments, invest in yourself, buy a home, invest in a personal business. You might have a cousin that has a business, buy into their business, your local laundromat, a vending machine, ATM. Like there's a lot of other places you can put your money,
Different
but
money
really
in,
you
yeah.
just want to be able to put your money in different places for it to grow. And you want to start from a place where you're putting money in very secure, safe places where the money's protected, and gradually as you work your way up, you're putting money, you can take a little bit more risk because you put your money in really secure places. So like if you've done all of that and you end up buying an ATM and it doesn't work out, you're not really shedding no tears. Like an ATM, I think it costs like 1,500 or 2,000, or a vending machine, same thing. If you put your money into a local car wash, that's kind of expensive, but at least you can sell it, and you
Yeah.
have secure money in other places.
No, I think that's a solid order. Like I might okay, let me walk through it. So you mentioned the 401k. I agree that should be first. That should be what each person is investing, especially if you have that employer match benefit. The IRA also is definitely next on the list where because you have that you're investing into your own retirement or for yourself, and then you have those tax benefits as well. I'll say personally for me, I think like you mentioned, the HSA account is pretty much is mainly helpful for people with families or that have a lot of like medical expenses that they know
Oh,
that they have to
yeah.
take care of. Personally, I'm blessed where I don't have to do that as much. I go to my checkup once a year and that's it. So I think next on my list would be more of my 401k. I mean my brokerage account, and that's also because we are big in investing, and so I want to make sure that I'm able to buy these stocks or these assets that I have belief in that I feel like are gonna um grow over time and then get me to that financial freedom or build wealth long term. And then like you said, if you still have the ability to contribute to your 401k, go ahead and do that. Or if you have any type of alternative investments that you're looking into, so like we've mentioned, real estate is a big one that if you have money that you're saving consistently, real estate is definitely one investment that you want to look into. Businesses, like you said, vending machines, any type of business that you have in mind, you can do this with any of those whatever money you have left over after you've put them into these financial vehicles.
Hey, bro, question.
What?
What's your net worth?
My net worth?
What's your net
Uh,
worth?
I don't know if I should disclose that. I don't know if I
It's
should
just
disclose that.
the way you be talking on his podcast sometimes. I'm like, man, how much money this man got? So I was like, yeah, I need to know how much Umar got.
I won't put it out there, but it's like in the 100, the six figures, six figures, thankfully.
Oh, is it a single hundred? Is it a double
Don't
hundred?
worry, don't worry. Don't worry.
Okay,
Just know
yeah.
6 figures.
Okay.
By God's grace.
Okay. That's good to know. That's good to know. All right, cool. So let's move on to the part of our episode, we get a little personal. That's kind of what we do here in Common Sense. We talk about our experiences, what we could have done better, so that you guys don't have to go through that stuff. So you guys can learn from our experiences. So they say a smart man learns from his mistakes. A wise man learns from the mistakes from others. Learn from our mistakes, mostly mine. All right. So let's talk about our personal experiences, some mistakes we made, or just how we go about things differently in the future if we were to be in some of these situations again, or if we were to start all over.
Yeah. Since I already talked about it, I'll talk about the 401k. Thankfully, like when I first started, like my first job, it was with like a smaller company than where I am now. And so my manager I was honestly the only person under my manager. So I remember like starting off, he set up a meeting with me, like to go over the company's benefits. And like I've been in other companies since then, and no other manager has done this. So that was definitely something that stood out to me. So I'm thankful that that happened at that point in time. But pretty much what he did is that he went over like what the 401k plan is, why you should invest in it. Like if you put a certain amount of money of it in it, your company's gonna match it, and then that grows over time. Basically, this was like my one-on-one into investing because I really didn't even know much at this point in time. So I feel like that's something that colleges are not really that should emphasize for people that are going into the workforce for them to understand what a 401k is. But
Mhm.
so yeah, so thankfully I had that exposure to it. The only thing I would say is that at that point, I guess my mistake or something that I would have done better is that I didn't understand what it is that my 401k wasn't investing in. I think it was later on when had more knowledge into investments, into asset allocation, that I looked into what the asset that I was investing in, what the fund it was, and then I saw that it was a target date fund. So for anyone who doesn't know, target date fund is pretty much your expected retirement range. So I think for me, it's around like 2060, 2065. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too sure. But so yeah, so that's pretty much what it is. And that range determines how aggressive this fund is. But I'll say it was a mistake because if I had known some of the things I knew now, I probably would have put that into other assets, maybe like a ETF, a higher return ETF, an index fund, something differently than just having everything in a target date fund. Like there was no asset allocation. So if this target date fund doesn't do good, like I'm cooked. So there was no allocation into there was no diversification, pretty much. That's what I
Mhm.
wanted to say. So, but yeah, so that was like maybe like 2, 3 years in that I kind of realized that. And so now I started diversifying like my 401k allocation. But so yeah, so I'll say that's one of the mistakes that I made early on, and that so if you definitely want to pay attention to what you're investing in your 401k to make sure you're investing in the right assets.
Yeah, I think what do you call it? Target date funds.
Mhm.
Target date funds are generally built such that like you're gonna make money. It's not
I mean,
like
yeah,
it's like
you're
it's
going
not
to
like
make
it's
money. It's
yeah,
not a bad investment,
it's not a bad.
but
That's what I was trying to say. It's not a
yeah,
bad
no,
investment.
no, no,
It's
no,
just
no,
that
not
depending
a
on
bad
what it
investment.
is, it could be slow, very slow growth,
Yeah, yeah, that's
which
what I
is
was saying.
how
Like
most
comparable to
good.
like what I could have got, like the rate of return for other assets, like comparing it to the
Yeah.
target date fund, it could have been a lot more. But no, I'm not in any way saying that don't invest in target date funds because they're not bad at all.
Mm,
Just that diversify, don't have everything in that.
yeah. On the other side of that too is that like the target date funds don't go down as much. Like I'm looking at my 401k right now, and all right, so I'm in a
Mm.
few target date funds.
Okay.
I'm in State Street 2030, which is basically S&P 2030. On the
Okay.
year, what are we looking at? Yeah, on the year, today's March 22nd. So since January 1st, it's down 2%. I'm in State Street 2055 target fund, that's down 3.5%. 2060 down 3%. But then on the other end, we have my Vanguard US growth investment, which is a lot more high risk, high return. And that was one of my, my money makers. It's down 11% on the year right now.
11%.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like that's like you said, like that's more high risk, high reward. And so if
Hmm.
we're having, and that's just like in parallel to what's going on with the US economy. Like if we're having a good year, like a good year in the stock market, you would see that fund would be doing a lot better than the target date fund. So
Yeah.
it's really pick your poison. Like then
Yeah.
that's how high risk do you want to be, pretty much. How
Yep.
aggressive do you want to be?
That's why asset allocation is really important. Cool. So for me, I wouldn't say I've made any particular mistakes. What I could have done better though is I wish I would have put more money into my retirement accounts early.
Hmm.
Uh, Granted, it is a sacrifice because you're reducing the amount of money that you're going to get, but it's a sacrifice that looking back onto it, don't get me wrong, I put decent money into my retirement accounts, but I could have put more into it. I could have sacrificed a little bit more. And that money is pre-tax money. So it's like $100 pre-tax is not $100 post-tax. You know, it's like
Yeah.
it's not gonna really feel like it. Like you're gonna put, it's gonna be $100 less on your check, but it's gonna feel like maybe 50 or 75 because after taxes, it wouldn't have been $100 anymore.
Yeah.
So I would say that's probably one for me. But some things I've seen is like uh people not understanding the tax implications of what they're doing and then like letting money sit in an account. So I have a family member who had been contributing to a 401k for a number of years. Had to be, I would say if I had to put a number on it, it had to be 15 years. Let's just say it's 15 years. But
15.
this person had about 200k in the account that was not invested. So it was just straight paycheck contributions, no growth, no growth whatsoever, zero
Not
growth because
invested in anything.
not invested in anything.
200K. Yeah.
200K. So it's like it's just
For
this why
15 years?
that's why financial literacy is so important because this person thinks they're contributing to their retirement and they technically are,
They
but
are,
it's not
but it's
growing.
not growing.
It's not growing. You basically put it into a checkings account that whole time.
No, that easily could have been like a
Couple mil,
million.
couple
Easily.
mil, easily, easily.
200 of your own hard-earned money.
Yep. That's crazy to say.
Yeah.
Oh, I saved my way to 200K is crazy.
200K. Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
That's why financial literacy is important, man. That's why it's
that's why it's
important.
important.
It's good to know these things. And like we've talked about a lot, we're not taught a lot of these things. These are things that we had to figure out ourselves. And so we're
Mhm.
here just sharing that knowledge with people.
Yep.
All right. I think we got a little personal there. I shared some of the mistakes I had. You shared target date
I'm always personal.
what target date funds you're invested in. I think that's good for today's episode. All right, all right. So now moving on to everyone's favorite segment, is it making sense? So here we're gonna bring up scenarios. It could be hypothetical, it could be real life, but we're gonna bring up scenarios and we're gonna see if it's making sense or not. All right, so I have one for you, good brother. All right, you ready?
I'm always ready.
All right, okay. So staying on topic, we have this person. He has a 401k account. He has a Roth IRA account. He has a crypto account and a brokerage account. So he has four accounts, so four of these financial vehicles that we've talked about. But it seems like each of these accounts have like low balances on it. Like it doesn't seem like it's growing. It doesn't seem like there's a clear strategy on what he needs or in the order of how he should be investing into these things. Is this a scenario that's making sense to you?
Uh, it's almost making sense.
Hmm.
It's almost making like I like the thought, I like the initiative, but there needs to be some type of strategy. Like we kind of just talked about it. Like, if he's putting money into a 401k, a Roth, crypto, and did you say a brokerage account as well?
Yeah, brokerage account.
It kind of goes back to our previous episode about building financial systems. there should be a certain percentage or dollar amount allocation that's going every time you get invested. So I don't expect them to be around the same amounts because, um, in my opinion, like the 401k is a lot easier to contribute higher amounts to without
Yeah,
the risk versus like crypto and a brokerage
crypto
account, which
account.
I do both of those, but like I know that my 401k gets more money contributed to it just because it's coming straight off of my check before tax. That's just what it is.
Yeah. And then similar, like going back to that order of operation that we talked about earlier, that maybe he doesn't need that crypto account right now. Maybe he should just
Right now,
focus on
exactly.
the 401k brokerage account, IRA, and then maybe, okay, once he has a good strategy, then he can move on to a crypto account. But I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Like he's on the right path because he's already invested in these financial vehicles. It just needs a better
Mm,
strategy to get there.
cool. So, all right, let me give you another scenario. So, we have an individual that's saving their money. They have 30,000 in a checkings account. Nothing in savings, nothing in investments. They want to feel safe and they want to have access to their money at all times, which is why they're in this predicament. Is it making sense or not?
It's not making sense. So you have 30K just sitting in your checking account, no investments, no savings. Yeah, that's not making sense. Not because like we've talked about like this whole episode is about financial vehicles and a checking account is not a financial vehicle. Your checking account you get 0.001% interest if anything, and that's not going to lead you to long-term wealth at all. It's not going to make a dent into that long-term goal that you have for yourself. And so the person already did a good job. Like, okay, kudos, you have 25K in your checking account. That's a lot of money. Now, like, let's start diversifying this into the financial vehicles that are going to get you to where you need to be. So we mentioned, so first you want to have like a stable base. You don't need to see 25,000 in your account in your checking account every day. So put some of that money, maybe half of that, or 6 months um of your bills into a savings account so you feel secure. Do that. Once you have that taken care of, now let's start making sure, okay, we put the rest into an IRA account. Make sure this person is also contributing to their 401k, and then matching whatever the company has, and then put the rest into a brokerage account and start investing. There's no reason why you should just have that large sum of money sitting in a checking account not working for you.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, if you were able to save 25K and you didn't need it, like you can put some of that money away for sure. Like,
Yeah.
and and even forget the investing, forget the growth, forget all those other things. The money is losing value just sitting in your checkings account.
Inflation. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's just losing value. So you got to put it somewhere. If you leave 25K in a checkings account and come back to that money in 5 years, you'll be disappointed of what you could have bought 5 years prior with that money compared to what you can buy with it now.
Right now.
So
Yeah.
it's not making sense.
All right. That's good. That's good. All right. So moving on to our next segment where we touch on what's going on with the economy today, some of the things that stood out to us and some of the things that we want to point out to our listeners. So to our economic expert, what do you have for us this week?
Is that my moniker now? That's my title, economic expert.
That's you. You
All
the
right,
one that be knowing what's going on, informing me.
got it. Now I understand. So, got a lot going on. Uh, Nothing too major. I mean, we all know about Iran. We've talked about that. It's just a situation we're trying to figure out. But something I saw recently was Trump homes. I don't know if you've heard about that,
Mm,
but President Trump has been trying to push for home ownership. It's the midterm year, so anyone in office is going to try to do what they can to appease people, make them happy, so they can get votes. We'll see how he feels about this next year after the midterms are over. But basically, the Trump homes are supposed to be some type of program where they're going to be building homes, and people can get into those homes through a rent to own, I guess, program.
yeah.
Yeah, so you'll be renting it, and somehow, some way, the money is going to be such that some of that money will be going to the mortgage, and eventually you can own the home and just be making payments to it. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I know one thing. If it's like anything of this administration, I'm not living in one of them.
You don't have faith in your president?
I ask you that. I'll ask you that. Do you? I'm not sure.
I'd rather keep my answers to myself.
Okay. Uh,
All right, okay.
I got faith in him.
All right, we'll see. And then you go live, go live in the Trump homes then.
Nah, those Trump homes are gonna be rushed. They're not gonna be all the way completed. They nah, we know what it is, man.
That's an interesting initiative. I wonder, like,
Yeah.
I guess who's going to take advantage of that if people are going to be enthusiastic about that or not.
Did you see speaking about Trump, did you see the stuff with Kristi Noem recently?
Kristi, who?
Kristi Noem, who's the head of the Department of Security.
Mm-mm.
You've seen those commercials where they're telling people that, like, if you're an immigrant, you should call this number and we'll deport you back and give you money. You've seen that.
I mean, I've seen ads on YouTube.
So
Is
that
it?
lady that's talking is Kristi Noem.
Okay.
So, all right, long story short is she was appointed for that project, and basically she gave it to people she knew. If it wasn't 30 billion, it was some
It
exorbitant
can't,
amount.
no, it can't be 30 billion. 30 billion is crazy.
Look at scratch that. You're right. I don't think it was 30 billion, but it was some insane amount, and she's on trial for it right now.
Interesting.
And what's funny though is that they were talking about it, and you know how this administration goes. Like, you gotta hold the boss down. You can't throw the boss under the bus. And they were questioning her, and at one point she said something along the lines of, they said, "Did President Trump approve of this?" And she was like, "Yes, he approved of this. He gave me the authority." I said, "Oh no, you're going to jail. You're going to jail.
Oh, she's trying to
Uh,
save herself.
you're going to jail. You got to just take the fall. You got to take the fall.
That is one thing I have noticed that, like, especially things that with this administration, they
You
don't
take the fall.
yeah,
Nobody
they don't
talks.
throw
You
Trump
take the
under the
fall
bus.
because it's like, it's not going to do nothing for you. All right, you said he did. You threw him under the bus or whatever. They're
Yeah.
not about to go arrest him. He already showed you he's not getting arrested. So you should have just shut up, taken the fall, go do your time. In 5 years, I'll look out for you, just like how he's been doing. I mean, that's just the truth of how it's going right now.
All right, all right. Another thing that I did we wanted to point out is that so there's news of people are unretiring, meaning that people are going back to work.
Yeah.
Um, and then kind of on brand of our episode today, we're seeing that 401k withdrawals are up 7%. So meaning
Mhm.
that people taking out of their retirement because either their cost of living has gone up, they don't have the means to take care of to pay their bills, or just for any reason they're having to take money from their 401k accounts earlier than they anticipated. And so they're even taking on those penalties for the early withdrawals because of what's going on in the economy, because of their inflation, because of rising cost of living. And so how do you feel about that?
No, it's crazy. I saw something published by AARP, and it says that in the last 6 months, the number of people who are unretiring has gone from 6% as of summer 2025 to now 7%. So
Um,
is that a crazy rise? No. But the number of people who are unretiring, that number shouldn't be going up. That's kind of crazy.
yeah. I mean, it's showing like what's going on in the economy. That one, people are not able to afford things because of inflation. Cost of living is going high. You were seeing fuel prices going up astronomically in the past couple of weeks. Things are just getting more expensive. Like people are having to find ways to make things work for them. Like it's
Yeah.
not looking pretty out here.
So in the survey by AARP, I can't think of what it stands for, but it's a nonprofit. They're the people that take care of older people. They
Mm,
said 41% of them said that they are unretiring because of their daily, basically lifestyle. Like they can't afford the life they're living, and not
yeah.
necessarily to say they're living beyond their means, but the retirement money is insufficient, is what they're saying. And it kind of aligns with what you were saying about the 401k. I saw something on that as well where they said hardship withdrawals have increased. I don't know the number, but the number is up of recent compared to what it was previously. So people are struggling, people do not have money, and they're digging into their retirement to save themselves. But now when you retire, you're gonna have to work longer because the money's not gonna be available to you.
That's crazy, man. And that's why we're talking about these financial vehicles, because we don't want to get to a point where we're not going to have the money that we need to live our best life in retirement, or live a livable life in retirement, you know?
Cold world, man. Cold world.
Crazy, crazy.
Okay, cool. So I got another one. Credit card debt is up 5.5% year over year. So according to the New York Fed, credit card debt is up to $1.28 trillion. Any opinions on that?
It just means that people are using money they don't have. And the reason why is because, I mean, what are you gonna do? You have to pay your bills. You have to like um make sure you're meeting your daily livelihood. And if you have a credit card that has a credit limit, you're going to use it because you don't have that physical cash or money at hand. But like all of this is all connected and showing that we're going through something in the economy right now.
Yeah, yeah, no, we definitely are. Um, I seen some other articles, just other things like foreclosures are up. Is it up to like housing market crash levels? No, it's
Not
nowhere
crack,
near that.
yeah.
But they are, yeah, but they are increasing. So that's something to be alarmed about. Um
It's definitely giving like
Delinquencies are increasing.
recession indicators.
Yeah. Yeah, like people are, what's the word? People are not able to pay off their debt. Student loans is not getting paid. Mortgages are not getting paid. Homes are going into foreclosure, and the stock market is down about. It was down 7% coming into this morning. I want to say it closed today at down like 6%. So as long as we're not at 10%, there's nothing to really worry about. But once we get lower than 10%, I mean, I know you and I think of it as like great buying opportunities, but like in terms of like the overall economy, there's something wrong there.
I mean, yeah, like you said, like I mean, for some people, like this is obviously a great buying opportunity, but you also don't know like how far this pullback is going to be, or how long this recession, I guess, if we don't want to necessarily call it that, how long it's going to be for. So that's also one of the things you have to take into consideration when you want to buy any type of assets in this economy.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, that's all I got. Nothing too heavy on the economy right now. I mean, I think all eyes are on war and oil. Bro, gas prices are up almost double since this thing started.
No, it's bad. It's bad. Like, I mean, like just, I mean, that's how you even know that people are feeling what's happening. Normally, like people don't actually feel like, okay, an increase in gas price if it's not drastic or anything. My fiance came home and said, "Oh, I spent $80 to fill up my tank." I said, I was like, wait, what? Like, and this is like normally it takes about maybe like $50 or something like that, but like $80 is insane. So like
She has a
people,
big tank, or is it premium gas?
it's premium gas and then also like a big tank. So yeah, it's both.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so I
80 is
mean,
80 is crazy to
that's
drive for like
insane.
what, a week maybe?
A week. Yep.
So,
So I mean, if the girls start complaining about, it, it's a real thing.
nah, facts. Once the girls start complaining, now we have a problem.
uh, but I
Cool.
mean.
All right, cool. Anything else before I wrap up this episode?
No, I think that's it. I think we had a good discussion on what financial vehicles are. I'm good. I'm good on my part.
Cool. So if you paid attention to this episode, we went through financial vehicles for building wealth, how you can use them, how to implement them, some of their advantages, some lessons or some things that we learned across along our journeys, and then kind of talked about the economy a little bit. So like, a few things to note, or a few things that you should, I guess, keep in mind as maybe you internalize this episode, is that financial vehicles are how wealth is built efficiently. Taxes matters a lot more than what people think. Start early because time is your biggest advantage. And above all, keep it simple and consistent, and you will get there.
Hey, facts, facts, facts. You dropping bars for us again?
Hey, man, that's what I do.
All right, so I mean, that's all that we have for this episode today. If you enjoyed this episode, please go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, share some type of appreciation for this episode. You know, Dami needs the validation. But
I need it.
but yeah, I mean, we enjoy doing this, but we also would have like to know what our listeners enjoy about our episodes as well. So definitely show some love as well. But yeah, with that, we've come to the end of episode 9 of Common Sense Pod, where we're all trying to make sense of our sense. Thank you.
See ya on the next one.
Bless.